All right, chaos recently at DFW airport. This did not involve an aircraft accident or an incident. It didn't have an engine failure. It wasn't two airplanes colliding into each other. This was something completely different. Let's watch the video. Right now, you see a guy refueling an American Eagle jet at DFW. And the way this works is he's got the hose over there and it hooks up to the pressure fueling nozzle underneath the aircraft. And it's actually a nozzle that turns and clicks into place. It's not like the one you put in your car, although I can fuel my airplane from on top of the wing that way. This one goes and it clicks into place, and then there's pressurized fuel that comes into that aircraft that fuels it rather quickly. It would take a long time if we just poured fuel into the tank. This is pressurized fuel. At the bottom of your screen, you can see a part of a machine. That's the machine that regulates the type of fuel that goes in. It regulates how much, the pressure on the aircraft. If there's any water in it, it'll shut it off automatically. All right, all those things are regulated by the machine. This guy is in the process of hooking it up, but something's about to go real wrong. Watch. Oh, look at that. All right, stop it right there. All right, so the fuel nozzle now has disconnected from the aircraft. It looks like he was trying to get it to disconnect the whole time, but look, he's up rubbing his face, all right? I think the first thing is he got a face full of jet fuel, which is really bad. If you've ever gotten gasoline on your face or in your eyes, it's really bad and it burns like crazy. He's got safety glasses on, and so I think he's reaching up and grabbing his safety glasses and pulling them off, but I don't think they're gonna do much good for a face full of fuel like that. Meanwhile, on the ground, the fuel is starting to spill all over the ground. This goes on for quite some time before he gets it shut off. Now, this is only a 1:15-second video that we're going to watch. It's all in slow motion because it's a closed caption video. It's not, full speed. So it's going to look like this guy is like taking his time to get, he's not. He's going full speed the whole time, but well, let's see what happens next. All right, this is interesting. He's taking his glasses on and off. He's walking away from the machine. He's walking off camera. He's holding his face. I bet you his eyes are burning like crazy. He's thinking about doing something now. He's like, I better go turn that off. Turns around, comes back to the machine, tries to turn it off. Something, he can't get it to turn off. He goes back now where he was, and he goes off screen. Now, let me stop it right there. Where's he going? All right, you're wondering, where's this guy going? Why doesn't he get the fuel? Because look at all the fuel on the ground. I mean, this is hundreds and hundreds of gallons of fuel all over the ground, and the potential risk of that fuel igniting. Now, I'll talk about that before I get to the end of the video, why that's not as big a risk as you might think, all right? So hang on to that one for a minute. He goes off the screen. In most industrial complexes, places where there's airplanes, machinery, you name it, OSHA has required that you put eye wash stations in periodically or along the ramp here. So an airport, there's lots of eye wash stations. He may be running over to one of the eye wash stations. He might have walked over just to get a towel or a rag and to wipe his face and to get the jet fuel from leaking down into his eyes some more so that he can go back and see what he's doing. My guess is when he went over the machine, he tried to open his eyes and couldn't see what he was doing. So he's over there looking for some sort of relief, probably an eye wash station, if not a towel or rag or something. But he's going to come back into the scene here just a second. Let me run the video. Look at that jet fuel spraying all over the place. Holy moly. Glad you're not in the way of that. Remember, this is slow motion. That's going like this. It's going crazy out there, spraying jet fuel. Seems like he's gone for an eternity. Here he comes back into the scene. We'll be right back, but first, a quick word from our sponsor. A few days ago, two Delta jets bumped into each other while taxiing at LaGuardia. Nobody was hurt, just some dented wingtips, but it caused hours of delays and grounded dozens of passengers. And yet, depending on where you get your news, you might not have heard about it. That's exactly the kind of gap that Ground News helps you catch. Ground News is a news comparison platform that gathers and compares stories from over 50,000 sources around the world, so you never miss out on news. You can see coverage across the political spectrum, the factuality of outlets, and even financial ownership information. When this Delta incident happened, almost 400 sources reported on the story, with 22% from the left and 17% from the right. The majority came from the political center. Seeing that breakdown matters because every headline brings a different framing, and bias often lives in what's left out, not just what's said. With ground news, you get instant situational awareness for the news, just like pilots need in the cockpit. And the best tool for that is the blind spot feed. It highlights stories that are covered by only one side of the political spectrum. It's how you spot what you're not seeing so you can get a balanced view. And right now, Ground News is offering my viewers 40% off their unlimited access Vantage plan. Just scan the QR code or click the link in the description. That's ground.news/Captain Steeeve. Subscribe today and don't get caught flying blind. He's looking at it for a second. Now he walks over, back to the machine, grabs it, throws the lever, and the fuel stops. Okay. And that's kind of the end of that video. But looking at that and the chaos of all of that taking place, imagine what it's going to take for the cleanup of all of this, for one thing. It's just crazy to think about that. But how does that happen? All right. So there's a procedure, and all of these fuelers are licensed and they are highly trained, certified fuelers. So they will say to me whenever I talk to a fueler or I have to have some sort of formal interaction with the pilot, they'll always tell me that they're a certified fueler. They'll give me their employee number. It's written down on a piece of paper. It used to be for years that they came up and gave you a sheet telling how much fuel they'd put into the airplane and where. They don't do that as much anymore, but it depends on some airports they do, some airports they don't, but it's always a certified fueler. So these guys go through a lot of school. It's not like somebody that they brought in last week and said, all right, you just hook it up to the airplane, hit the switch, and away you go. That's not the way it works. So the procedure now for fueling an airplane like this is to go over and hook up the nozzle. All right, come back to the machine. It's got a set amount of fuel that you're going to put into that jet, and you're going to put it in one wing and then the other wing. And if there's a center tank, you're going to put some in the center tank as well. So they put the fuel in a balanced way on the airplane. Then you're going to turn the machine off at the end, or it might turn itself off when it gets to the proper fuel load. You're going to verify that the machine is off. Then you go back over and you unhook or uncouple the fueling nozzle from the airplane so it doesn't spray in your face. But you're going to make sure that there's no pressure in that line before you go over. I'm not sure what phase this is, but whatever he's doing at that nozzle, that hose is under pressure for sure. So I don't think this is the initial hookup. I think he's done fueling, and maybe he forgot to turn the fuel off. He's having some difficulty at first. Let's watch it again from the beginning. And he's trying, obviously, to get this either clicked into place or off, but I don't think it's clicked into place because there'd be like fuel leaking or something. There's nothing like that. Yeah, I think he's done fueling. Let's watch. All right, he's approaching it. He's trying to like turn it. He's like wrestling with it a little bit right here. And then boom, right that, you see that blast right there? The whole thing comes off under pressure. And I think he's just as surprised as you and I are that thing was still under pressure. And maybe that's why he couldn't get it off. Now, sometimes maybe they're a little tight and you got to give it a little bit more elbow grease. At this point now, he realizes it was under pressure. Well, there's not much you can do about it at this point. That thing is going to blast, and you want to make sure, first of all, that nozzle doesn't hit you in the face, because all that pressure coming out the end of the hose, the end of that hose is going to whip back and forth like this. He's still got it partially in his hand, but it's also blasted him in the eyes. So the first instinct on my part would be to drop the hose. He does. Let's pick up from here. The hose, he just throws it down to the ground like that. All right, let me pick it up. Now the hose starts going back and forth, right, because of the pressure in the hose. You can see him lifting up his vest and trying to wipe his face off. He got a lot of fuel in his face. He's putting it over his mouth. It's like in his lungs. It's burning, all right? He's trying to get his breath probably at this point. He comes back. It's like, I better turn that off. All right, goes back over here. Maybe he can see it. Maybe he can't see it. He's smelling. This stuff smells really, really bad, right? He's got the vest up to his face once again, still wiping his face. It's all over his head and it's coming down into his eyes. Goes off the screen. I don't know if he gets a towel or he gets that eye wash station. Whatever he gets a little bit of relief. and hundreds of gallons of fuel all over the place. Oh my word, what a mess. All right, this is all in real time now. He's cleaned up his face or whatever. You see him come back into the scene. He stops here for a second, walks over. I don't know what that is in his hand. I hope he's not filming this. But whatever's going on, he finally hits the lever and he shuts the whole thing down. All right. Now, let's go back to the other elephant in the room, which is this. Why didn't that stuff explode? Okay. Well, there's a difference between jet type fuel and gasoline. Now, you'll hear me many times on this channel confuse the two. And when I'm talking about fuel, I'll say they put gas in the airplane. And I hear about it from all of you in the comments. All right. I know it's not gas. Gas is what goes into a car. Gas has a higher flash point than kerosene type fuels. The type of fuel that goes into a jet is a kerosene based fuel, and it has a lower flash point. It doesn't explode as easily. The fumes, for instance, if you lit a match around the fumes, they wouldn't ignite like gasoline does immediately. You would have to actually, put that match down into the fuel to get it to light up, and you'd have to have quite a significant flame to get that to happen. It's just not the same as gasoline. But for all of you who want to waste your time in the comments saying it's not gas, it's fuel. I've been flying airplanes for 42 years. I get to call it whatever I want. All right. Let's just be at peace with good old Captain Steve calling it gas. I know what it is. It's jet fuel. It's kerosene based. So it's not got the high flash point. Now, there's nothing around on a ramp that's going to cause this to ignite. I was listening to a couple of news stories about this, and they were saying highly volatile gas or fuel, jet fuel, and all of the things that could ignite it around here. There's nobody smoking on the ramp. There's nothing like that. Could it ignite? Yeah, absolutely. It's fuel. There's no doubt about that. But is it likely to ignite? No. And that's the good part about all this, is that it's not likely to ignite. Can you imagine the mess with the EPA on this and trying to get all this cleaned up? Oh my word. I wouldn't want to be this guy. But it looks like, was it his fault? Wasn't it? I don't know. He's obviously trying to get the nozzle, I think, off the aircraft, but it was still under pressure. And I know he should have hit the lever first. If it's under pressure, it's going to do exactly what happened there. Is this a human error? Most likely. We'll see what really caused all of this. But it's unlikely that he just happened to be over there trying to mess with it or tighten it up a little bit. Maybe he was trying to tighten it up a little bit and it came loose. Again, that's probably something they don't train you to do. He's probably doing that on his own. But again, what a mess at DFW. Nobody was hurt, fortunately. And that's the way fueling of an airplane goes. I have never seen this happen before, and I've fueled thousands of airplanes on thousands of flights. But I did want to show you this video because it's very dramatic, very chaotic. And fortunately, nobody other than the guy that was fueling was hurt. I don't think he was hurt permanently. He just got a lot of fuel in his face. And that's going to burn your lungs and it's going to burn your eyes. Hopefully he got to a wash station and got cleaned off quickly. Well, now you know. I'm Captain Steve. Fly safe. Now, if you're looking for another aircraft incident that has some frantic moments in it, check this video out here.